righty, welcome back. Just breezing through the first hour of a Woman Wednesday, but it's also Wall Street Wednesday every Wednesday when I'm joined by my good buddy, Wall Street veteran, Joe Hagan, CEO of Wealth Colony. And Joe, all disclaimers out there. Joe and I are big shareholders in Investview. My main audience is well aware of that. We're not in possession of any inside information, but we are large holders. And I caution people all the time not to look at me or you as a financial advisor, but we can talk about why we're invested and why we made significant investments into Investview. And Joey, for the amount of times I've talked to people about Investview and told them, be ready to lose everything. It's a risky investment. It's low priced. Since the guys from Rothrock and Joe Camarada came in to join the team they already had, the way they've turned this company around, I'm proud to tell everyone I'm a holder, and I'm not telling you to buy it. Make sure it's for you. Understand it's suitable, but you better get your hands on some Investview soon, in my view. What do you think, Joe? What's happening?
Well, yeah, as you've clearly laid out, we are both biased and, shareholders, in the company. I've been that for years. And the fact that these gentlemen have come on board and taken this in a whole new direction, I think it's going to expedite the growth. I think the fact that Bitcoin, I think 20,000, John, here is the new 10,000, where it based for a while. I think it's consolidated. I think, what's going to happen is that you have a lot of advisors out there, right? I'm a dinosaur that was once a stockbroker, right, for 20 years. But you have a lot of investors and you have a lot of advisors that, people are calling because they're seeing 20,000 plus on Bitcoin and they can't touch it. So what happens is, we talked last month about Riot blockchain going from 3.5 to 10.5. And frankly, if you don't feel like you want to buy Bitcoin at these levels and take that risk, there are a lot of plays in the stock market that haven't really moved yet. Riot has moved. It may have some more upside, but I don't think Investview's even started. I put it out there while it's still available at the end of the year here. I think what we do with the preferred share is a way to get you paid on 13%, get a check every quarter, get paid. And oh, by the way, in your back pocket, you got a bunch of stock that could really take advantage of this whole Bitcoin surge. And you've got the upside without the same risk factor. So that's my opinion on Investview. I love it. I think it's got a lot of upside. But it's interesting out there, some of the portfolio allocations.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it, Joe. Look, I don't, and we went through a lot of due diligence on the Apex program. I don't go out, we never do. We don't go out and tell people what to do, but I love telling people what I do. Mm-hmm. And you can't go wrong if you say, hey, I'm telling you what I got. And if you want to follow that lead, I think that's fair. All right. And I'm not trying to solicit or encourage anyone, but just my friends out there. You may not know this, but Investview has a huge online investor education company where they have tens of thousands of distributors around the country, and that business is kicking butt, okay? And now, on top of it, through the restructuring, new infusion of cash, Investview just happens to have the largest Bitcoin mining operation, I think, in America, at least in the Northeast, right?
Yeah, they're definitely a major player. You've got a CEO at one point, in time was the second largest miner of Bitcoin in the world. And as far as the distributor part of Investview, John, they're global. They're in 120 countries. There are people in countries that are not spoiled like Americans and some European countries. And if you can pay them in Bitcoin, holy cow, they motivated. You think about it, some of these people can put their entire life savings, in the Coinbase account in their wallet and flee the country, right? So that's a third world type scenario. But a lot of other countries where people are, because of COVID, looking for home-based businesses, oh my goodness, the growth of Investview in that sector is not only expanding, but the world of Bitcoin is expanding as well. And they're a major player here, and they're going to make some noise.
No doubt about it. So, what I am, and Joe's trying to say, a lot of Bitcoin has had a huge run. Joe, the last time through my affiliation with T0, division of Overstock, I got involved in the Bitcoin world, both Joe Camarada and I, in like 2014, 2015. I started nibbling around then got caught up in the craze and bought a whole bunch of other bullcrap coins. Got my head handed to me on those, but I always kept adding to my Bitcoin position. And last October, I documented, I've said it many times, I went in and bought some more Bitcoin myself at 8,000. Now we look up at 20,000, and you can show me almost any investment out there. I don't know many people that made over 100% in the last year. So I'm starting to feel more confident saying that you should add a little smidgen to your portfolio.
Yeah, John, if I can lean into that, in 2014, I don't know how my wife let me, but I had over 100 computers in my house and in my office where I mined Litecoin for an entire year. And that coin went from 3 to 375. Like you said, a year ago, we started buying Bitcoin again, and we started doing a lot of it through Investview. But I want you to consider this, right? I'm 50 years old, I'm 53, right? I heard a talking head on a competing channel, right? Let's say it may not be CNBC and may not be CNBC, but I couldn't believe what this guy was saying. He was saying because of COVID started, John, okay, the interest rates are down 100 basis points. And the reality is he's saying that you have to adjust your traditional portfolio allocation, 60-40, saying that model is broken. And I've been hearing a lot about that for years now. And that's the reason for the retirement gap and so forth. But what he actually said was to make up for your account that has to now work harder to make up for 100 basis points down. He was saying go to 80% stocks. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm a stock guy and I love stocks, but I think that may be a recipe for disaster if the pandemic gets worse, we go to war, anything in between. I think 80% allocation in stocks is really borderline irresponsible. My son just got a CPA, just graduated college, right? I wouldn't even tell him to go 80% stocks. And here's the reality. If you really want to know what portfolio, John, think about this. What really has outperformed all asset classes? How about this one? 90% cash, 10% Bitcoin has outperformed all the other allocations in terms of risk and reward. So when you look at that, John, and you consider that the vast majority of financial planners are going to tell you to lend money to an organization that's 27 trillion in debt and they have a negative real yield, Bitcoin just gets a lot more palatable for a lot more investors as it goes mainstream.
No doubt about it. So one of the things many people try to do, like Amazon or Microsoft or Tesla, when the price gets too high on the underlying, on the stock or like the Bitcoin, try to find other places where you can get the type of growth from the growth in the instrument or the asset. So one of the things that I want people to realize is I really believe, I don't know anything, but I really believe for the first time in 12 years, Investview may be turning a nice profit. And at the same time, when you talk about Riot blockchain, which in my view started as a sham and then all of a sudden it blew up, I think what I know, and I've been part of Investview because I sold them one of my companies almost 10 years ago. So I know this company for 10 years. I think Investview is worth significantly more than Riot blockchain. And if you want to, every time Bitcoin goes up, because of the mining operation, Investview is going to follow because their revenues and earnings are tied directly to the performance of Bitcoin now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. You're preaching to the choir. First of all,
listen, I'm trying to tell our audience because I don't usually tell them, hey, take this.
Right.
I don't usually go out that strong, but I would love nothing more than to see the thousands of people that tune in every day have a few shekels of Investview in their account. And if the team keeps growing and pounding like they are and building fundamentals and building profitability, I feel comfortable putting my name on it. So that's why I am.
So I agree with you. And as far as the comment I made preaching to the choir, I would tell you, John, that if you look at Riot blockchain and you look at their hash rates and you look at their mining power, if you look at a car, what's the horsepower, right? As far as what your ability to bring in terms of Bitcoin with Investview, it's the same, probably better and more powerful and about to be a lot more powerful than Riot blockchain. So putting aside the whole distribution unit that's growing really nicely for Investview, just an apples to apples comparison, if you had the same market valuation of 500-600 million, Investview would be at 20 cents. And I think that's scratching the surface. So I agree with you 100%.
All right. This is my Wall Street insider. He's with us every week. Joe Hagan, CEO of Wealth Colony. If you want to know a little more, get a little information, you want Joe to send you anything, reach out to him. Go to wealthcolony.com. You can reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with Joe. But Joe, thanks a lot, brother. As usual, let's keep in touch. I'll see you soon. Go Investview.
All right, John. Thank you.
I'll see you, pal. All right, we're going to take a quick break right there. We're going to come back with more Liquid Lunch from Max Pub in Staten Island right after this.